Hi, I'm Elliot, a writer, and I'm typing out The Great Gatsby. Why? Because that was something Hunter S Thompson did because he wanted to see what it would be like to write a masterpiece. Now that I've started this project 7 months ago, I need to finish it. So, join me every Saturday until I finish this whole novel. Cheers! Episode 30. Wow, what a moment right here. Double fisting today. I got my coffee, and I got my Citron Vert liqueur. Is that how you say it? I'm terrible at pronouncing stuff. Please let me know how you pronounce it. Liqueur? Liqueur? I feel like if you want to be pretentious, you would say liqueur, like me. And if you want to be ignorant, you'll say liqueur. With that being settled, welcome. Welcome to another episode, episode 30. This is huge. It's huge. What a massive moment in the history of the act of typing, I would say. This is historical. So welcome. Thank you for joining me in this historical moment. You will receive a commemorative token in the mail. Send me your details and I'll send it over. That's not true. I won't. Don't send me anything. Except your good vibes, of course. Except your good vibes, baby. It is October. Candy, treats for all. I got a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff today. A lot of good stuff. We're typing The Great Gatsby. We're just keeping it real. Just keeping it real reality here. Real reality. No fakeness here. Wow. I just lost all my energy right there in that moment when I started talking about how real I was going to be. But no, seriously, we made a lot of progress to get to this very point right here, and just want to say thank you. Thank you for joining me. I really did no preparation for today's video, episode 30. I thought we'll just take it easy, you know? Last episode we talked about the third act of the story. I nearly said video here. This is not a video. This is a video. This is a book. This is a story of my life. What was I saying? I'm getting distracted by my own tangents. What am I trying to say is that previously in episode 29, please go back and check it out if you haven't. We were talking about the third act of the story and how Fitzgerald is now, answering the questions, creating this payoff. What is the message or the imagery or the feeling, the tone he wants to leave us with? These are all things that we are exploring. Last episode particularly, we were looking at the hero's journey, one of the later stages of the hero's journey, and that's the dark night of the soul. One of the things of the dark night of the soul is that's rock bottom for the main character. Gatsby is in the pits. I guess today maybe we'll see if he gets out of it in any particular way. How will he climb out? How will he attempt to redeem himself and fight that demon? Redeeming himself. But yeah, last time we left him, he was still obsessing over Daisy, which is what he's been doing this whole story. Let's see if he could come to terms with what has happened and the murder he did. And win or love, live happily ever after. It's one of those stories, right? All right, let's find out. Let's get started. That was a lot of talking by me. I feel feel winded just from me saying words. Oh, also, just a early disclaimer. I really prepared nothing for this episode. I'm gonna be straightforward with you guys. I don't want to lie to you. I want to be real. I didn't research any Fitzgerald fun fact today. So, no Fitzgerald fun fact. Sorry to disappoint you. But times are tough. And this Gatsby guy. So funny. Yeah, so Nick is trying to understand this guy. Nick is a good friend. I would have bailed on this whole situation. I guess they're neighbors. It's hard to escape a neighbor, right? Kind of just stuck with your neighbor, unless you're on a houseboat, in which case you could just sail away. Oh, jeez. November. That's funny. Jesus. You hear that? That's a really loud vehicle. Okay. People in their loud cars. Actually, I think they're like trucks and stuff. Can't focus. Staying distracted. Alright, where am I? Okay. So very dumb. This is all like just flashbacks, kind of piecing together Gatsby's life. That's how this chapter has been so far. It's like now that everything has happened, let's get to understand Gatsby. Let's figure out the pieces that made up this horrible man. He's not horrible. He's just damaged, and we're understanding why he's damaged now. No one is ever horrible. They've just lived a life that led them to this point. It's like when you're writing a character, you need to like somehow like the character you're writing about, even if they're doing terrible things. It's kind of like the balance. You want to torture your character, yet you also want to empathize for them. Empathize with them, for them, have empathy for them. There we go. Yeah, okay. Down, switch. Being too sad, and it's a very emo part of the story here that we're in. It's worth keeping in mind that this book was really not popular when it first came out. What kind of elevated it to like popular culture was because of the war and how soldiers were given a copy of this book, Great Gatsby. You could kind of understand why. I think like it's kind of this sad yet masculine, kind of this toxic masculinity that lives inside this book. It's like sadness. It's like, oh, should have been with me. She loved me more. I feel it. I understand. I get it. And this chapter can kind of live it on its own as this like short, sad story of Gatsby. Like every chapter should be able to kind of exist on its own, in my personal opinion. And I think this one, you could kind of pull it out. totally get rid of it. Have it as like a side story. It's like a prequel, really, that's kind of happening near the end. It's interesting that it's structured that way. Sun's coming out. It's like on and off raining all day. It's been very strange. Yeah, I'll finish this and then I can go outside. Terrible, terrible outside, where danger lurks behind every corner. So Gatsby's really sad. And Nick's just worried about him. Such a good guy, this Nick. Such a good guy. It's also, he's the narrator, so I guess he kind of has to paint himself in a nice light, right? It's always very biased when it's a first-person narrator. Something to think about. Something to think about. Oh, there's no notation here. Away. It sounds like he wants to get away, but he chose to miss those trains. Lee. Oh jeez. So hope. Okay. This scene, it's just lingering. Something better happens soon. It feels, it's interesting because you kind of make this, most of it, it's being told from Nick's point of view. It's like Nick relaying the information to us. And then there's these little parts where it's like just these mundane conversations between Gatsby and Nick. Just like, I'll call you, it's all right, whatever. It's interesting choice to leave out the dialogue part for like the long history and just use the dialogue for these like short little punchy kind of, I suppose so, well, goodbye type of parts, you know? It's kind of like messes with the pacing, I guess. I don't know. Wow. I think that's it right there. That line right there kind of makes up for all the nonsense that happened from the beginning of this chapter to right now. It's kind of shows you how Nick really feels about this guy, why he puts up with him. It's just like, come on, I'm trying, like, just pick yourself up, man. It's like, is he saying this because he actually means it, or is he saying this because he's kind of sick of him and like wants him to move on? It's like, you're better than this. Don't even stop thinking about them. I think that is a very complex part of it. It's very real. We're talking about being real today, right? I think that was really, I believe it. So much of storytelling and writing a book is all about having believable things, and you just get that moment. It's like a character just completely fed up. It's like, come on. I think that's what happened here. It reminds me a lot of, in Good Will Hunting. Sorry, I'm bringing up Good Will Hunting, and that scene between the Matt Damon and Robin Williams characters, and Robin Williams' character is like, it's not your fault, and Matt Damon's like, I know, and it's just repeating those same lines, but there's so much emotion in it. It just felt real. That's what you're trying to get to, and I think that's what's happening right here. It's like this really real emotional moment. I often reference like the moment of intensity. When you're writing, you try to write to this point of moment of intensity, and I feel like we're right there right now between these two characters, even though it's like two men and they're like kind of tough or whatever, but they're experiencing this moment of intensity between these two, and how are they going to respond in this like respectful way that, like, I don't agree with what you're doing, I disagree with everything you're doing, I think you're doing it wrong, but I gotta respect you, I disapprove, but I respect you type of situation. And the Gatsby character is now like, okay, all right, all right. Right. I wrote it right and then I correct it wrong. Oh, geez. It's only been 3 months. I feel like it's been like years. Thanking him for that. We're always thanking him for that. Whew. I think this last part really made it up. I wasn't liking this chapter until this part right here. It's a nice way to tie it up, I think. Sorry, just wanted to check my camera is still good. Okay, yeah. Well, that was a very interesting section of the story. And I think it really was the relationship between these two characters, and I think we know where both of them stands now. Okay, let's keep going. I don't know. I don't know what else to add with that, but doing this is hard sometimes because you try to find things to say. It's like when the teacher points at you in class and is like, what are your thoughts on the story? And you're like, I don't know. I don't know what my thoughts are. But kind of search for it, like, kind of pick at things. I think that's what's happening. This whole experience feels like the teacher always pointing at you. It's like, all right, Elliot, say something insightful. How do you feel about this? It's just constant. Like, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about this? And I think that's what it's teaching me to do as I'm typing this out or I'm reading, is like, how do I feel as a reader, as someone who's in a way transcribing this, to actually read the words and kind of like interpret it in the moment. I think it's really hard to do. Been doing this for 30 days now. 30 weeks, really. Once a day. No, once a week for 30 weeks. And I don't know if I'm getting good at it. I don't know if I'm getting worse, but I'm doing it. And I think that's one of the things of this copy work, as they call it, it's teaching me, is just constantly feel like someone's pointing at you, and just give me your thoughts. Just let me know what you're thinking about and how you think. And I was just looking at all my videos. I was thinking back, like it would be fun to revisit this in a few years to see what an idiot I am right now. Jordan Baker, what does she want? I feel annoyed on behalf of Nick that someone's calling, just because I hate it when people call. I do. It gives me anxiety. I'm a millennial that way. Well, Nick is used to it because she often calls at this hour. It's like I'm having a conversation with the story sometimes. Then I say something and then Nick returns it by saying like, no, it's okay. Don't be upset on behalf of me. She calls all the time during this time. It's weird when it happens. Sometimes it happens. It's like, I think it only, that ooh kind of feeling only happens because I don't remember what the story was about. Certainty of her movements. Uh-oh. What now? Oh, sorry. Is this the next morning? Is that what it was? Yeah, I can't. Confused by the timeline here. Okay. I like the way it's kind of punchy. It's really, things are picking up. I like it. It's been a slow chapter so far, but I feel it picking up. right? They want to see each other. Oh God. Just say what you want to do. It's like when you're trying to make plans with someone and you're like, hey, do you want to meet up on Friday? And they go, Friday's no good. And it's like, all right, Saturday? And you do it back and forth for a bit, and by the end of it, you're just like, I don't even want to see this person anymore. I don't even want to see this person. It's way too much work. That's what being an adult is all about. An adult. It's my bowl of candy, by the way. Kind of see what's happening. It's as if Fitzgerald is kind of wrapping up the relationships between Nick and all these other characters. I don't know if we're going to see Jordan Baker again. I don't know if we're going to see Gatsby again. But it feels like the way he's tying it up, it's almost like this is how Nick is going to say goodbye to these characters. And it's as if Nick is making these choices that I don't want to do this anymore, which is kind of how I felt at the very beginning of this chapter. Is like he should just try to lose these people and go on with his life. But I guess he still needs to talk to Gatsby because he's gonna call him right now. Whew. Crazy times. The pace of the story is definitely much slower. I thought it was going to pick up for a moment there, but it really didn't. But you slowly feel like things are winding down. I think that's what Fitzgerald's trying to do with these kind of slow pace scenes that it crescendos at a point, but never really gets that high. Nothing really exciting happens. It's just these failed attempts to kind of wrap things up for Nick. I think that's what's happening. It's very anxious. It's creating this anxious atmosphere. It's like, I want to not do any of this stuff. So I feel like that's going good because as someone who's typing this right now, I feel kind of anxious on his behalf because I'm like, come on, just wrap this thing. What's gonna happen? And there's still so many questions left unanswered, right? Like, what is gonna happen next? We still don't know. Oh, the ash heap is where the accident happened. Right? That's where, in one of the second chapter, they describe the ash heap. Good reference to bring us back to that spot. It's a dark spot in the dust. Garrulous. What does this mean? Let's find out. We haven't done this in a while. Excessively talkative, especially on trivial matters. Garrulous. I think that's how you say it. I like that word. That's a good word. It's forgotten. So Nick is feeling this guilt. He's kind of just like this third party guy. Not really involved, but he is involved. He doesn't really know how to respond to it. Let's see how much more I got. Okay. It's it there. I want to finish this because I need to go to the washroom because double fisting going right through my body. Oh no. George. Oh, hello. How's it going? Episode 30, Michael. So with him, three. Nicholas. Hate to pee. Went back. I don't know how Nick knows all the stuff that is happening, but has source. Okay. Let's do the part of the show where I time myself for a minute and see how many words I can type. This may help me type faster to get to the end of this. This is crazy. Come on. iPhone 5 here. This is, out of all the phones I've had, the iPhone 5 has been like the most durable. I miss it. This is a good size phone. I don't really want it so big. It's gone too big. It's gone like an inch and a half too big, in my opinion. Okay, let's do this. All right, ready, set, go. Go ahead, stop, please. Thank you for that. Okay, I didn't finish the word. This word here which was himself. The yellow card belong to? I don't know. I don't know. I think it's okay, but I don't want 5 holds for this. Let's see. 68. That's pretty good, actually. That's pretty good. It doesn't feel like a lot. I think the page break here kind of made it seem shorter than it was, but 68, pretty good. Pretty good. Could have gotten 69. Yes. It's interesting, the order of, I think the most interesting part of this chapter is the order of the details. First to start out with, okay, let's check in on Gatsby, see how Gatsby is doing. A lot of history, backstory for the Gatsby character. Then he goes to the office and encounters Jordan Baker, and Jordan Baker's kind of like bailing on this situation, which is cool. She's upset. And then it comes back to the scene of the crime. I don't know how Nick knows what's going on here, but I'm going to trust, like the Gatsby section of this chapter, it's going to wrap up with something profound, something that will really help us understand what's happening. And I think that's what's being done really well in this chapter so far, is it all ends up with us understanding the character a little bit better. So that's the goal. Like, we get the situation, we get what's happening, but now it's like filling in the colors. The outline is there from the previous chapter, which was the climax. Here, I guess, as we sort of, falling action, it's like we paint it all in. Okay, that it happened for this reason. It happened for this reason. This character feels like this now. And yeah, that kind of makes sense. You spend all the way to the climax kind of etching out the outline and the falling actions. You color everything in. Color everything in. Where am I? Where am I now? Oh God. Years. Object. All right. That's the episode today. Wow. We're doing good. We're doing good. We're still on track. I think we're almost done here. We're almost done here. Learning a lot. We've kind of, this is a CSI story now, isn't it? Scene of the crime. It kind of takes you a little away. It doesn't feel, I feel like this is something Nick learned about after all the events unfolded, and he's relaying it to us now because now is the right time for us to get this information, because this Michaelis guy is gonna get all the information. He's gonna clue in and he's gonna arrest Gatsby or something like that. That's how it's gonna turn out, I think. So it's creating this this nervousness, this tenseness. It's like, okay, they're piecing things together. This yellow car, things are not looking good. You're kind of worried, kind of getting worried. But no worries here. Another good episode. Making progress. We're almost at the end. Episode 30. Who would have thought we'd ever get to this point, right? I say this a lot. Who would have thought we would get here? Anyways, thank you so much for joining me again. Tune in next week as we wrap up this chapter and find out what's gonna happen to Gatsby, Daisy, and all the other characters in this lovely tale. All right, I need to leave now.